I don't know what that means. Oh, God. What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? Cyrus, what's up, brother? Here's my wonderful wife, Jessica Moneymaker Martin. Tina, hey, 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 hey. That was No Worry by The Movement. And I do not own the rights to that music. So there's 7 viewers on here, that's cool. Man, this tag thing, turn that off. This tag thing on my computer, I have to actually search for people. On my phone, I just hit tag and all this list come up of all the people. And but it doesn't work that way on my computer. So if I didn't tag you, I'm sorry. If you wanted to be tagged, and if you like the content and the stuff I put out, please share. You can also check me out on YouTube at The God I Never Knew. And the I there, some people would say, they talk about a higher self and lower self. Everything is just one, but you could say it is the data. It is everything that I have been taught and everything that I have thought myself to be. It is the memory of every past occurrence since creation that is stored in my subconscious mind. And I believe that there's some many keys in the Bible actually, but there was a reason that they laid out Jesus' lineage. And they talk about generational curses and that kind of thing, and the traditions of men. It's the memory that's been passed down through your lineage. And since we are one, and we've always been. So it is the many, 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 many mountainous, innumerable memories that are stored in my subconscious mind. And when I showed up here, they were already there. So we can jump right into it, and let's see, what did I title this? I think it was is there anybody out there? And let me kind of get to what I'm talking about here. Is there anybody out there? So all that is out there are my thoughts about what is out there. And let's go a little deeper into that. So all that is out there, let me find my little notes here. That way I kind of stay on track. I usually don't go off any notes at all, but I got a lot of different things that I've been posting up, and I haven't really talked a whole lot lately on videos. Been busy with work, kids, life, everything. And I just hadn't really felt like coming on live. I felt like it today, and then I was like, what am I really going to talk about? Well, we're going to talk about thoughts. And I want you to test this out. If anybody can tell me what their next thought is going to be, I'm not going to say that. No one knows what their next thought is going to be. So this whole thing about it's because it's bubbling up from a subconscious place. Subconscious meaning we're not consciously aware of where those thoughts are coming from. So we can either come from memory or we can come from inspiration. Memory requires thought. That's why Jesus said, take no thought about your life, right? Take no thought. Well, how do you take no thought if we don't even know where they're coming from? So to think about anything at all, it requires a memory to compare that thing to. So a stop sign is not a stop sign unless there's a memory that it is a stop sign. Because when you see the stop sign, you perceive it and your intellect compares it to that memory. You think. You think. And so all that is out there are my thoughts about what is out there. Therefore, everything is within and being processed within me. And my thoughts about what is out there is made up of an accumulation of memories, every past occurrence of my life. And my life, since there's one life, means since creation. Many lives, many lifetimes. And I'm not going to get into people start getting into reincarnation and all that. And that's not what I'm talking about. We are one and we've always been. So there's a memory of what's always been, and it's been stored in my subconscious mind. So everything that I see is what I think I'm seeing. And what I think I'm seeing is made up of, that's my perception. It's made up of every past occurrence of my life. And my life didn't just start when I was formed in my mother's womb. Because we've always been. In him was life, and life was the light of mankind. In who? In source, in origin, in divinity, if you want to call it divinity, in the divine creator, our divine creator. And I like to say in our one and only infinite being, our being. And it just kind of, because as soon as we start throwing things out there like, I say God, then you've got your own beliefs about that and your own judgments about that. But if I just say, okay, our divine being, our infinite being that is incomprehensible, that's why the intellect, the conscious mind does not and cannot know God. It's never seen God. It's because God is incomprehensible. It wants to try to figure it out, and you can't. You can only experience our being. So, is there really anybody out there? And I'm not saying that you're not real and everything is illusory. I think that's the word. Illusionary. What I'm saying is my perception. I perceive things only based off of my thoughts. And my thoughts are based off of memories. And my memories are in error. They are distorting reality. They're misrepresenting reality. And a misrepresentation of reality, by definition, is an illusion. So I've been seeing many illusions. And it's all because everything I'm seeing is being filtered through the beam of my eye. The many memories. And so, what am I left to do? Well, we've been given a choice. So what I've found out is that my intellect, my conscious mind, is not there for me to stuff it full of knowledge and data, more knowledge, more information. That's not what my intellect is for. That's not what my conscious mind is for. The conscious mind only processes a very small amount of the very large amount of information that is going on every second, every moment. So it is impossible to know what's really going on consciously by the intellect. That's why memories are in error and they are distorted, because what I'm seeing, first off, is being filtered through that lens. It's distorted. I'm seeing through a glass dimly, dark, a darkened glass. Like I have shades on, and they're the memory of all my past occurrences, good, bad, and in between. And I'm perceiving, judging, trying to figure everything out by the intellect, when in all actuality, the intellect has been given to me so I can choose. Choose what? What? On this day, choose whom you will serve. But you cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve two masters. So I can either, and when I say serve, I can either engage. You may say you're my higher self, the divine creator, whatever, God. Or I can choose to engage those memories. I can choose to think for myself. And the problem is not me choosing to think for myself. The problem is me not taking responsibility for thinking for myself. By simply saying, I'm sorry. So we're constantly wanting to point the finger outside of ourselves for everything, instead of taking 100% responsibility. And so if I'm seeing illusions, and let me say this, the Yoga Sutra 1.3 says something really cool right there. It says the seer is established in its natural environment. The seer is established in its natural environment. And my natural environment is peace and tranquility. It is stillness and silence. That's why it says, be still and know I am God, right? Be still right there, if you dig into it, it means to drop down within. Relax, pause, relax, drop down within and experience that which you have always been. And in this experience, in this stillness, mountains melt like wax in my presence, which is present, right? The present moment. But because we're constantly thinking for ourselves, which requires memory, and a memory is a past occurrence, which is the past, which is no more, it's an illusion. It keeps me from the present moment because I'm in the past. But I want to be present because the mountains melt like wax in my presence. The memories melt like wax in my presence. And it's all in the Bible. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. What do you think that means? It means trust in divinity. Trust in, and you can say the Christ. Trust in that anointing, that energy that animates all things. The life, the breath that is within all things and ties us together as all things. Trust in that part that the intellect does not know, but has been given it. But the divine design is to let go of knowing and to trust that part that it can't see and it cannot comprehend. Infinite, eternal. So my choice is I can either choose eternal life, moment by moment, or I can choose the temporary, illusionary world. And the divine design is I have a choice there. I've been given the gift to choose. In each and every moment, I've been given this gift to choose, moment by moment. It's not a one-time thing. I wish it was, but it's just not. It's just not. And so when these things come up, like I'll give you a really good example. The other day, I was really feeling like I was trying to make something happen. I was pushing, and I could feel it. I could feel it. And now I know my feelings are a revelation of the programmings that's lying in my subconscious mind, the judgments, the beliefs, the programs, the data, the memories in my subconscious mind that are keeping me bound to the past, keeping me from the present, limiting me from the present. So it's very key to practice being aware of how I feel, aware of these thoughts that are not me, because these thoughts are bubbling up. They're memories that are bubbling up. They're memories that have crystallized into thought form. And memories and feeling, emotions, that's a package deal. And thoughts. So they crystallize into thought form, and then I project. I'm a projector. I project the thought form onto the clear canvas of reality, distorting reality, misrepresenting reality, creating illusions, perceiving the very illusions that I'm projecting. It's a really crazy thing when you start to think about it that way. And so what I've been doing, and what most of us have been doing, is solely operating by the intellect, because it thinks it's God by itself. Until you know this awakening starts to happen, and you start to realize, oh my God, well, first there's a lot of these memories and thoughts and things going on in my subconscious mind. But I would have to disagree with that, Cheryl. And I'll tell you why. Because I couldn't tell you what my next thought's going to be. Because it's bubbling up from an unconscious place. And they've scientifically actually proven that. They've done studies on it. So, what am I left to do, you know? What am I left to do? Well, it's right there in the Bible. Clean the inside of my cup. Stop worrying about the outside. See, this is what's been going on. I've been sitting in the movie theater. This is the movie theater. It's my experience. It's my reality. And everything in my reality, everything in my experience, I have created, you could say. Because the only thing that's out there are my thoughts about what is out there. And my thoughts about what is out there is an accumulation of all the past occurrences of my life. My life began when creation began. Since creation. But for the first time since creation, I'm acknowledging my subconscious mind. I'm aware of my subconscious mind. Now the two can make peace in one house. The conscious and subconscious mind becoming one, or realizing they are one. Which first takes place by I'm aware, and now I'm acknowledging this inner child of mine. The mother, the child. The mother, the son. Father, mother, son, all is one. Divinity, divine creator, which is incomprehensible. Spirit, Holy Spirit, superconscious mind, whatever you want to call it. I call that Father. Mother, conscious mind. Subconscious mind, the child, the son. The inner child. And everything bubbles up through the subconscious mind. Everything. Inspiration or memory. And who I am and who we are is the perfect image of God. The exactness of God, which is pure. So my identity is pure in heart. So what's been standing in the way, if I am perfection and I am this perfect image, what's been standing in the way of me seeing clearly myself? Memories. It's all memories. And so all of my problems, I know this today, if we can just get this right here, all, all, all of my problems, all of my problems are memories that are stored in my subconscious mind that are replaying themselves as problems. That therefore I am responsible, 100% responsible for everything that I have only perceived as a problem. Because in all actuality, they're all opportunities. Opportunities for what? For me to trust in the Lord with all my heart. And that's a part of me, because there's no separation here. There's no separation here. And lean not on my intellect that has thought it was God by itself. And so this is what's been happening. I've been sitting in my movie theater, my reality, my creation, my experience, and I haven't liked everything going on in the movie. I haven't liked things I've perceived as problems. And so what I've been doing is speaking to the movie screen, trying to get the movie to change, or trying to fix it with my own mental and physical abilities, my own power. But it's not by my might nor by my power. It's by my spirit. It's not by leaning on my own intellect and understanding. It's by trusting in divinity, moment by moment. And here's the other key. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your paths. Well, who is he? It's not a he or a she. It's our divine being. And if I acknowledge our divine being, moment by moment, I will be directed by inspiration, which requires no thought. You just flow and follow, which can be 24/7. But I got to get clear. I got to get clear. If I'm seeing anyone or anything outside of the perfect image of God, I got a beam in my own eye. There's a memory there. I'm judging. There's a belief there. There's a program. There's error. There's data. There's a memory that is distorted, and because I've only been seeing in part, and that part that I'm seeing is being filtered through that lens. So it's in error. You can't trust your memories, I promise. I promise. So what I've been doing is I've been sitting in my movie theater, and I'm trying to fix the movie screen, but with my own physical ability, and by talking to the movie screen, all the characters on the movie screen, and the movie keeps playing. It keeps repeating itself. I mean, you ever notice every time there's a problem, the common denominator is you? That's kind of a hard pill to swallow, but it's true. The common denominator is me. And I can't change the movie by speaking to the movie and trying to fix the movie by engaging the memories that I've projected. I cannot change the movie that way, because what happens is I'm resisting trusting. I'm resisting, and that which I resist will persist. It repeats itself, and thank God it does, because every time it repeats itself, it's giving me another opportunity to set myself free. And when I set myself free, I've set all of creation free, because creation is contained in my conscious and subconscious mind, because the only thing that's out there is my thoughts about what is out there. So it's all me outpressed. And I am the perfect image of God. I am my source. Because the truth of all things is the source of all things. And the source of all things is the truth of all things. And if you want to know the truth about anything at all, or anyone at all, you must go to that thing or that one's source. And I only know there's one source. And that source is incomprehensible to my intellect. So I'm sitting in my movie theater and I'm not liking the movie or the actors and the way things are going off, and I'm talking to the movie screen hoping the movie changes. And it doesn't, it keeps playing. So in order to change the movie, I must go up into the upper room where the projector is and change the film that's being projected onto the clear canvas of reality, right? But since I only know a small amount of what's really going on, I don't know what to change the film to. But I know one that does. And I can trust that that pure energy transmutes all things. So it will transmute the memory that's repeating itself as a problem as I let go of the steering wheel and trust. And trust. And there's a real simple way to do this. I can just be still. I can just say thank you within. Jesus said it, love your enemy. Well, your enemies are those memories. And they're not your enemies. We're learning to love the data. Because love transmutes all things into love. I can just embrace all things in love within myself. And let me give you a real practical example of this. So last night I have a dream. Because I've been real, I used to lay hands on everybody. I used to pray for everybody I came across. And I saw more miracles and healings, and I saw a whole lot of those healings and miracles go right back to the very thing they were healed of, too. I really did. But I thought I was fixing other people. Everything is alive and everything is a reflection. It's a mirror. And everything can change. But it starts within me because I'm perceiving the problem, because the only thing that's out there are my thoughts about what is out there, right? But since I don't know where my thoughts are, I don't know what the next thought's going to be, I have to let go and trust, because this is the divine design. That God, our divine being, is going to transmute the memories. But I have to give our divine being permission to do so because I've been given the choice. He placed Adam and Eve in the garden and said, hey, I'll provide everything for you. You don't have to think about a thing. Or you can eat that fruit over there and you can think for yourself. But you don't have to. I'll actually provide everything for you. Look at the birds in the trees. They don't store up. They don't sow and reap. They just swoop down and pick up that worm. They didn't make the soil. They didn't even think about it. They didn't put the worm there. They just swoop down there and get it. Inspiration comes and we just flow and follow, right? Excuse me. So, I have to let go. And the more I let go of thought and thinking, the easier everything becomes, the more I flow freely. And things just happen. Things just happen. So let me tell you, I used to pray for everybody. Because I was saving the world, right? I was saving everybody. I used to lay hands on everybody. I saw a whole lot of crazy, wild miracles and healings and you name it. It was really cool. It was a great experience. And in a way, I was kind of like a child. I didn't know how any of it worked. And I was just trusting. But I did not understand that I was attracting all of that into my experience because all that was a mirror pointing to something within me. And when I learned to let that go, it also frees up everyone else. So I had this dream last night, and in the dream, there was a woman, and she had back problems, back pain, and she wanted me to lay my hand on it because every time I would lay my hand on it, it would she started explaining the energy she was feeling and how good it felt on her back, and the pain, went away. But what I was doing in my dream is I never said a word. I simply sat there and I listened. I dropped down inside and I became very aware of my own thoughts and feelings. And feelings are a revelation of the programs underlying the memories. And as these thoughts bubbled up and I simply observed and let go, the woman was healed. The memory was transmuted. I just stepped back. I didn't say anything at all, actually. I just observed. But the memory, it was a shared memory. The memory was within me. Because all of my problems are memories stored in my subconscious mind. And they're repeating themselves as problems. So history will no longer repeat itself as we learn to let go. Take full responsibility. Not point the finger. Not try to talk it out. Not try to be right. Not try to blame something else. And simply turn within and say, you know what? I'm sorry for this data that I've accepted and been hanging on to. That's repeating itself. Please forgive me for this. And you know what? Thank you. Thank you for releasing me of this and freeing us. Thank you for transmuting this. Thank you for erasing this. Thank you for dissolving all things into this love that we are, that I am. I love you for life. I love you for, and this is an inner conversation. And see, there's a few things that are happening. I'm turning within. I'm conversing with myself, capital S. I'm listening. I'm taking responsibility instead of blaming. She did it. The woman told me to do it. And in this process, it evolves. It's just like prayer. But it just evolves. I'm turning back in. I'm dropping down. I'm experiencing the stillness, the peace, the silence. I'm experiencing the present moment. And mountains melt like wax in the present moment. Yep. And the thing that's really been, let me share this little piece here to you. And because a few years back, well, I guess about 7 years back, I started becoming very, very, maybe longer, maybe 8 years, 9 years, I think. I started becoming very, very, very aware of these thoughts within me. And I started becoming very aware of a lot of negative, I would consider negative talk that I was hearing within myself, about myself. And I didn't know what to do with it. I had no idea. I asked a lot of people, man, and I was getting triggered, and I knew where the triggers were coming from and how the mechanics of it was operating and all that. And I became very aware of it all, and I was trying everything, reframe it, affirmations, you name it. I was trying it, and a lot of that stuff worked. Some of the time, not often. A very small percentage of the time. And it's because this conscious mind, this intellect, and this mother aspect, and this subconscious mind, and the body, all creation, and this inner child, the son, I was demanding, affirming, and because this intellect only processes, I think it's like 30 bits out of the 11 to 15 million bits of information being processed subconsciously every moment. how could this possibly know even what to affirm? How could this possibly know even what to intention to set or what goal to set? Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. No, we don't know. We do not know intellectually. And so I'm affirming, and I'm trying, and I'm trying to figure out what, past traumas and all that stuff, but it's mountainous. It's since creation, the beginning of time. How could I possibly figure that out? This cannot. And it wasn't set up that way. It's not the divine design. And things started crashing down around me as I started seeing things differently, and I was like, man, what can I do with this, And now I know for the first time in creation since the beginning of time, I am, and lots of us are, acknowledging our inner child as the child that it is. And there's a conversation going on there. As much as I am aware throughout the day, I'm conversing with my inner child, my subconscious mind. And a lot of the times I'm saying, I'm so sorry that I've neglected you. And I am so grateful that for the first time in creation, I am aware of you and I am acknowledging you. Please forgive me for all the pain and suffering I've caused. And asking it, will you please help me today to let go? I don't know the memories that are stored within you. If you will, please help me let them go today. And as this goes on, what happens is this relationship I'm nurturing, really, right? The mother gently nurtures, equips, empowers, teaches her child through encouragement. Gently. Gently. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for pumping my heart. Thank you for breathing our lungs. Thank you that we are together. Everything's going to be okay. And as this goes on, what happens is, because all those memories are stored in that subconscious mind, and the child begins to trust, and the conscious mind and the intellect start working together, when something is about to come up, intuition will tell you, take a step back. Just like when you were a child, don't go that way. Don't go with those guys over there. Don't do that right there. Go over here. This type of guidance is available as we let go, as we clean the memories in the inside of our cup. As we take responsibility and remove the beam from our own eye. And as those memories are transmuted in me, they're transmuted in all. So also what happens as we nurture this relationship and we're taking this full responsibility, inspiration begins to flow. I'm writing more than I think I've ever written. I got things going on too now. I'm working on a lot of things. I'm cleaning on a lot of things, and but now I know it's divinity's job, and it's my job just to not engage those memories and to petition divinity inside here. So I hope that helped. If anybody ever wants to talk about this kind of stuff or has questions, which is data, I'd love to talk with you, because it really, all this, I'm seeing that even the questions from other people and things like that, it's all opportunities for me to free myself and to free these memories. Yep, so that I can see clearly. Because to the pure in heart, all things are pure, right? It's the pure in heart that shall see God, all things pure, right? Perfect. and we can experience bliss and peace all the time. So thanks for showing up. I didn't say hey. I see you, Noel. Sammy, what's up? What's up, Deborah? Brandy, so good to see you here. Tina, if I missed you, I'm sorry. Dr. K, so good to see you. Ed, thanks for being here. Thank you, Cheryl, for showing up. Uh, yeah, and if you have questions or anything, I'd love to chat with you. And if you like it, please share. Natalie, hey. Um, and I have a YouTube page that I put this stuff up on too. There's like 150 videos on there. So, but anyway, thanks a lot. Love you all. Peace.